calls that the turning point for Montreal's season. They finished up at 7-7, but throw it all out the window now. Playoff time. Glad to have it back for the first time in a couple of years. And the Alouettes won the toss. They deferred. Hamilton wants the football with the snow coming down here at Tim Hortons Field. We're about to get the Eastern semifinal underway off the foot of David Cote. Poppy White, Sean Thomas Erlington are back for the Ticats to get the 2021 CFL playoffs underway. Coming down to Poppy White at the Hamilton 20. And he gets it up across the 40. Good place to start for Jeremiah Masoli, the quarterback of the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, Jeremiah Masoli finished the regular season on a high note. One of the players of the month in the Canadian Football League for October. There you see his numbers. 10 touchdown passes versus 6 interceptions. Looked sharp in a season-ending tune-up victory over the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
And begins this playoff start now outside their 40 and handing off to Don Jackson back in at running back for the Tiger Cats. He missed much of the season with injury. So we take a look at the starting lineups now, brought to you by Expedia.
Yeah, and we'll keep an eye on that center position. You heard Dave Naylor talk in the pregame show. Darius Sirocco starts at center, but he's been battling injury. We may see the American John Yarbrough there. And you mentioned, Rod, Don Jackson gets the start at running back. Only 4 games for him during the regular season, but over 100 in one of those.
It was second down and short to Jackson again, and he does have that Alouette first down around midfield.
And looking at the Montreal defense, we've talked many times this season about their rebuilt defensive line. Almondo Sewell, a key there, providing veteran leadership at this time of year. Speaks to the Canadian depth on this team that Chris Aki wasn't this team's nominee for most outstanding Canadian. David Menard was, but Aki was outstanding. Najee Murray led the Alouette with 3 interceptions this season.
On this Tiger Cat first down and keeping it on the ground again. 3rd straight carry to start this game for Don Jackson, and short yardage that time.
And Hamilton not necessarily known as a running team, but perhaps looking to set the tone a little bit here early. Get Jackson involved, try and get him going. Ahmad Thomas making the tackle.
Don Jackson, in his 3rd year out of Nevada, had been with the Stampeders before this season. And very quickly, in very few games, showing he's a critical part of this Hamilton offense. 2nd down and 8 for Masoli. First big test of this drive. It's off the fingertips of Stephen Dunbar. It falls incomplete. A catchable football for the Ticats. Instead, they'll have to punt it away.
We'll keep an eye on Stephen Dunbar here, trying to work back to his quarterback. Off the fingertips, and as you see the snowflakes flying, I should point out, I mean, in this part of the country, in southern Ontario, this is really the first snow day of the year, so it's not like Hamilton has had an opportunity to practice in these conditions and get used to them, so there will be an adjustment period for them as well.
Joel Whitford, global player for the Cats, just outside his 45 to punt this one away. That's taken down by Quan Bray. At his 10, he gets up across the 15 with the special teams tackles leader for the Ticats, Nick Cross, the rookie, in on that stop. So on comes Trevor Harris. 3rd straight playoff start for him. 3 different teams, I should say. First drive coming up. The 3rd straight season Trevor Harris has faced the Ticats in the playoffs with a 3rd different team. He has settled in nicely to this Alouette offense, Dwayne.
Yeah, a remarkable transition for Trevor Harris. Very smooth in terms of getting on the same page as his receivers, completing over 70% of his passes since joining Montreal. Of course, a guy who's always been known as an accurate passer. 8 touchdown passes versus just 2 interceptions since joining the Owls.
So a first down just beyond their 5-yard line. First possession of this playoff game for the Alouettes. William Stanback. And a good carry for Stanback to get it across the 10. He's the Eastern nominee for most outstanding player.
Yeah, getting north-south in a hurry that time was Stanback, who'd been limited to 99 yards in the 2 games combined against Hamilton. Taking a look at this Montreal offensive line, congrats to Landon Rice, a veteran Canadian offensive lineman out of Manitoba, an East Division All-Star this year. Gino Lewis has been battling injury the last couple of weeks, but he is back in at his usual wide receiver spot today. He'll be, no doubt, a focal point for Trevor Harris in the offense.
After a gain of 4, 2nd and 6, faking the handoff to Stanback, rolling out to his right, completes it to Quan Bray, up across the 20, near the 25, and a first down for the Alouettes.
And defensively for Hamilton, of course, look for Dylan Wynn to lead the way on that defensive line. East Division All-Star at D-tackle. Simone Lawrence, once again, top defensive player in the division. He'll be active without a doubt. Desmond Lawrence starts at the boundary corner. He'll see a lot of Gino Lewis, but a last-minute shuffle in the secondary. You may have heard about it in the pregame show. Deontay Evans is out. Adelaketa halfback, Katsantonis at 3.
Throwing again. And that one falls incomplete. The nearest receiver is Reggie White. That followed a gain of 15 before for the first down. There's a flag down here.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Hamilton, number 98. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Dylan Wynn called for roughing the passer.
Keep an eye on Wynn here from his D-tackle spot. Works hard to the inside against Christian Matt. Following through on that hit on Trevor Harris. Leads to a flag. A little boost in field position for Montreal.
Another Alouette first down now, up at the 40 of Montreal. Early on here at Tim Hortons Field, the first of 2 semifinal Stanback. Tries the left, tries cutting back, and that play more reminiscent of what the Ticats D has been able to do to number 31. Mentioned Trevor Harris in 2019. He was with Edmonton when they beat Montreal. And then they later played here at Tim Hortons Field and lost, and also faced the Ticats in the Eastern Final when he was with Ottawa in 2018.
And you look at those numbers, just an outstanding playoff performance from Trevor Harris. 22 consecutive completions on his way to 92% completion rate.
A 2nd and 8 after the 2-yard carry by William Stanback. So Harris to pass again over the middle to Jake Winicky, and another first down across the 50 as this Alouette drive continues.
Yeah, Alouette's doing a nice job here. So far, you know that Stanback is always going to attract a lot of attention from that backfield. Keeping him back there always maintains the threat of the run, even without a fake. And you see Stavros Katsantonis, rookie out of UBC. Ticats fortunate in making this shuffle and losing Deontay Evans, who is a game-time decision. Katsantonis has actually had a lot of reps this year.
On the toss to Stanback, right side. Julian Hauser in there. And Tyrese Beverett as well in on the tackle for the Ticats and limiting his yardage again.
Yeah, and take a look here at the job done by Hamilton's defensive line. We talk about Montreal's O-line not being able to get a great push upfield, so Stanback has to run laterally, can't really accelerate, can't get that momentum going to be able to use his power on oncoming tacklers. Julian Hauser that time doing a nice job standing up his block, then shedding it, coming off to make the play.
At the Montreal 53, the Alouettes' first possession early on in this playoff game. A quick throw to Winicky again, and another first down for the Alouettes. So that short passing game of Trevor Harris working well so far for Montreal.
Yeah, Winicky lining up to the inside here. Trips to the field, 3 receivers to the wide side. Just find that little soft spot out around the first down marker and sit it down.
Montreal is 3 for 3 on second down conversions. The ball across midfield to the 48 of the Ticats. And a 1st and 10. The backfield clearing Harris. Looking off, can't find a receiver. And now scrambling around and does get it away. And he does find Kyan Julian Grant with a flag down, who goes out of bounds at the Hamilton 40.
Nice job by Harris staying alive, but I think this one's going to be early movement against Hamilton anyway. Like Simone Lawrence, you'll see him moving.
Offside. Hamilton, number 21. Penalty is declined. Second down.
So they had more than the 5 yards, close to 8 or 9 for Julian Grant on that reception, so they do decline the penalty. Take the second and short. As mentioned, 3 for 3 on second down conversions so far on this drive. These two teams met twice in the regular season. On August 27th, Hamilton won in Montreal 27-10. And then revenge for the Alouettes, who trailed by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. They came back and they won it in overtime here in early October. Shea Patterson, the short yardage quarterback, takes it and he sneaks off to his left on a 2nd and 2. Patterson, the product of Michigan and Mississippi before that. They do pick up another first down, so 4 for 4 in the conversion.
Shea Patterson, certainly a topic of discussion for a Montreal team that went through most of the season with Vernon Adams and Matthew Schultz as its 2 quarterbacks. They make the trade when Vernon Adams went down, made the trade, of course, to acquire Trevor Harris. Then Matthew Schultz went down, and Shea Patterson, with little experience, finds himself as the number 2 man in this playoff run.
Completely different scenario at quarterback for the Alouettes now. 10th play of this opening drive, and that's completed to Quan Bray coming back for the ball. See where they spot it. And a flag is down in the Alouette backfield.
Bray was taken down hard there by Jamal Roll. And it looked and sounded.
Roughing the passer. Hamilton, number 98. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Second time of this drive, Dylan Wynn has been called for roughing the passer.
There you'll see Wynn again, second from the bottom on your screens. Called for a low hit on the quarterback this time. Hit outside that strike zone below the knees.
This Alouette drive started at their own 5-yard line. They are now down to the Hamilton 15. Dylan Wynn has cost them 30 yards of this drive on 2 roughing the passer plays.
You see Quan Brace just getting up. I think when he was sort of spun down there, wrestled down by Jamal Roll. Looked and sounded like he whacked the back of his helmet on the turf, on the takedown here. Certainly good to see Bray back on his feet. No doubt they'll be monitoring him on the sideline.
In his second year out of Auburn. And becoming more important when the Alouettes were dealing with injury issues in their receiving corps. So here we go. 1st and 10 after the penalty. Just outside the Hamilton 15, William Stanback tries to feel his way through and picks up 6-7 yards, maybe more. See where they spot this football. He had only 40 yards rushing, his lowest output against Hamilton back in late August.
And if they're able to get some success with Stanback here today, they may feel comfortable using him in different situations, because there is certainly an element of predictability to when they used him in the regular season. All of his carries against Hamilton in the 2 games came on either first downs or on 2nd and 3 or less.
That passing game giving the Ticats defense something to think about now. On 2nd and short, Jagarrett Davis in for their biggest play defensively. At a perfect time, too, to force the Ticats into a field goal situation. Jagarrett Davis says no to William Stanback.
Yeah, watch Davis on the left side of that defensive line. Slices underneath the block. Into the backfield. Beating the guard David Foucault there at the line of scrimmage. Great job ducking his shoulders to get under the much taller blocker. I think Jagarrett Davis picked up the same tendency I did at 2nd and 3 or less, that Stanback might get the rock again.
17-yard try here for David Cote, the rookie kicker out of Laval. Up and through for Cote. And the first points on the board in this 2021 East Division semifinal goes to the visiting Montreal Alouettes. Up next, Jeremiah Mazzoli and the Ticats.
This is your list.
They played Calgary 3 straight games earlier this season. The Stamps won the first 2 before Saskatchewan in October won that 3rd one. They're the second place team hosting the Stamps. Always strong this time of year. Looking forward to that one as well. Here in Hamilton, the Alouettes in their first possession drove over 90 yards downfield and settled for a 17-yard field goal by David Cote, who will kick it off to the Ticats.
A drive that kept the Hamilton offense off the field for over 7 minutes this opening quarter.
On a chilly Sunday, Poppy White on the return. And once again, a good return for White as he gets it up across the 40 for Mazzoli. And the Cats trailing by 3 here at Tim Hortons Field. It was a rough start to the season for Jeremiah Mazzoli with back-to-back losses to start the year. He got hurt in Saskatchewan, but he came back and actually put up some good numbers, Dwayne.
Yeah, once he sort of found his stride after returning from that rib injury, Jeremiah Mazzoli was terrific for the Ticats. They haven't had a lot of opportunity this year, really, to have he and Dane Evans healthy at the same time after the, I don't even want to call it quarterback controversy, but quarterback discussion, quarterback competition through training camp.
Well, here's Mazzoli on first down. He dumps it off for Don Jackson a bit too far. And that's what happens when you have 2 quarterbacks. You mentioned the controversy, who are established starters. Dane Evans, of course, led them to the Grey Cup in 2019 after Mazzoli got hurt.
And here you take a look at the difference between the home and away numbers for Jeremiah Mazzoli, and perhaps the benefit of the way things unfolded for Hamilton in the final week of the regular season, in which they secured this home playoff date.
You saw Dane Evans on the sideline. Second down into a crowd, and fortunate for the Ticats, that's not picked off. Najee Murray was in there. Nick Usher falls incomplete, and so 2 and out for the Ticats.
Yeah, you'll see Mazzoli take a hit just as he lets that one go. Usher coming around the horn on a twist.
And Murray and Adarius Pickett involved in the coverage, so Whitford is playing it away again, taken by Greg Reed. Back for the punts and getting up to the Montreal 24. Stand back in the Alouettes. Very strong opening drive. Possession number 2 coming up here in Hamilton. No love lost between these two teams, especially during the week-long build-up. Let's go down to Matthew Shinetti.
Oh, yeah, Rod. I was on the 55 pregame when Patrick Levels came out in the balaclava, being the villain that he wanted to be, and talking to William Stanback about this was the moment, this was the time. And Jalen Acklin came out as well from the Ticats, telling everyone on Montreal's side that he was playing press man. And I spoke to Patrick Levels because he always speaks to his mom, Michelle, before games. And Michelle told her son, because she was critical of his guarantee, listen, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. If you're not going to bring it, if you're not going to win it, don't bring it home, don't come home. Guys.
Matthew, yeah, the headline was made by Levels, Dwayne guaranteeing a victory for Montreal. You know how they would have taken it here in the home side.
And the irony being, as so many people said in the conversations leading up to this game, if you don't believe you're going to win in the playoffs, what are you playing for?
Including the owner, Gary Stern, of the Alouettes, backing Patrick Levels on that guarantee. 1st and 10. Trevor Harris dumping it off. And Christophe Normand, the fullback, could not hang on, so it'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, Harris having some time back there, but not being able to find an open receiver.
was the first incompletion, and it shouldn't have been, for Trevor Harris, who has started this game 5 for 6 for 50 yards. This crowd picking up. Good atmosphere here in the snow at Tim Hortons Field. Grey Cup 108, 2 weeks away. Will one of these teams be there? Harris dumps it off again. It is caught by Stanback. William Stanback close to a first down. He might have it. Up across the Alouette 35. He should.
And Trevor Harris looking to start a new streak in hopes of matching his previous 22 straight playoff completions against Hamilton. As you mentioned, opened with 5 consecutive completions before the Normand drop on the previous play.
And you see how Stanback went down, so they marked the ball just shy of the first down marker. So 3rd and inches. And the Alouettes are in their own zone with a 3-point lead. Shea Patterson is in. They go for it. He gets it easily up across the 35. So the sticks will move and the drive will continue.
Good surge there. The Alouettes have been a very good time of possession team this season, and that's obviously no surprise given their ability to run the football. I think when you combine that with the accuracy that Trevor Harris brings to their passing attack, maybe a little bit different than what viewers have become accustomed to with Vernon Adams. Team that played for the big play a little bit more, but again, that time of possession can be key come playoff time.
So 1st and 10 now to 36. Dumping it off to Cameron Artis-Payne. And he keeps his feet. A good job breaking tackles by Artis-Payne, who gets another Montreal first down up close to midfield.
I think this is a name that jumped out at a lot of us when we saw the Montreal depth chart for this week. I know the guys in studio talked about this in pregame, adding a second American running back. They hadn't had a lot of opportunity to do it during the season, although Artis-Payne and Stanback were both in the lineup when the two teams met here in Hamilton in October, but not often on the field together as they were on the last play.
That one set up with a play-action fake to Stanback. Artis-Payne now receives the handoff, takes it across midfield. It was an 18-yard gain on his catch and run, and just a couple of yards for Artis-Payne that time around. You talked about William Stanback got hurt mid-season. He had a big game Thanksgiving Monday against Ottawa. Artis-Payne was the starting running back, and he had 122 yards and a touchdown that won the game in a last-minute drive for the Owls.
Yeah, and you get the sense, obviously, during playoffs, you want to pull out a couple of wrinkles that your opposition didn't see during the regular season. And we suspected that there would be some packages involving those two backs in together. Alouettes take advantage of that early here today.
2nd and 8. They have another good drive going right now as Harris throws, but that drive will come to an end. Intended for Quan Bray, and just the second incompletion of the afternoon for Trevor Harris, who is upset with himself. I'm gathering here as he heads off. It's a time for a punt, and the first time we will see Joseph Zima to kick it away for the Owls.
Yeah, that one got away from him a little bit, but again, not coming away with points, but doing a good job moving the football to kind of shift that field position battle a little bit, make Hamilton, with a good punt here, go a long way if they're going to put points on the board.
So Zima stands just outside the Montreal 40 to punt this one away. Taken down by the Cats. Inside the 10, Poppy White. Good coverage on that by the Owls. Patrick Levels, we talked about it, the strong side linebacker, guaranteeing a victory, and he took some flack for it here in Hamilton. Here's what he had to say about issuing that bold guarantee.
I want to set the tone. It wasn't a secret. I'm not one of those guys who's going to say, oh, you know, we'll see what happens when we get there. I'm raising hell. Simple. That's what we come to do, dominate the game. So it doesn't matter how they prepare. That's what it's all about, us. And that was my mentality to my guys, was that I can say that because I know that we're going to prepare for the moment, not just talk about it because I'm not a talker that just talks. I back it up every week.
As the saying goes, better be prepared to walk the walk. I think you can say the way he plays, he does walk the walk, but certainly did talk the talk too before this one, and a shorter gain for Hamilton on that first down. The last play of the opening quarter controlled on the clock and on the scoreboard now by the Owls, who have the 3-0 lead. Montreal leads Hamilton 3-0. And you can see the numbers now. You hit the nail on the head about time of possession so far, not only for the Ticats offense being cold, but I wonder if that defense starts to get worn down, if Montreal can keep sustaining these long drives.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of how Montreal plays, obviously running the ball, trying to have some success doing that. They did a good job, I thought, mixing in short passes there, play action a couple times, which I think is going to be a key, sometimes coming off that run fake to William Stanback and moving Trevor Harris around, because it's not necessarily something people anticipate a lot from Harris, maybe thinking that might be a shift in the offensive philosophy for Montreal since the loss of Vernon Adams. But I think knowing the way that Hamilton's defense, particularly that defensive line, has keyed on William Stanback this season, I think you've got to move Harris around, get him outside of the pocket on some bootlegs, some run fakes, and throw the ball.
And the second quarter begins at the Ticats 16. A second down and long for Masoli, who throws it over for Jalen Acklin, and he has him up at the 35 and a first down to start this second quarter for the Tiger Cats.
A good start to the second quarter here for Masoli and the Ticats. Nice touch on that ball. Acklin holds on despite taking a hard hit along the Montreal sideline.
Hamilton only at 18 yards net offense in the first quarter. That was a gain of 19. Already ahead on one play in the second. Don Jackson picks up a couple of yards. Money Hunter in there for the Alouettes.
Well, it's no secret that I think Money Hunter has been absolutely terrific in that Montreal secondary this season, particularly since shifting out to that boundary corner spot. Taekwon Glass went to the injured list. Hunter went from field halfback to boundary corner. Najee Murray came back in at field half and led the team in picks.
He's only throwing again, and that one just sails out of bounds. Dunbar is the nearest receiver. And so with that, they do pick up one first down, but still the offense does stall, and they're going to have to punt again.
You touched on it, Rod, as we started this quarter. The potential for Hamilton's defense to have to play a lot of snaps in the first half of this ball game. Obviously, that trend started in the first quarter.
Time of possession for Montreal, 11:34. Hamilton just 4:07, so nearly 3 times as much the Alouettes have had the ball so far in this game. Joel Whitford standing at his 22. Harris and the Owls to get the ball back again. Or will they? Picking it up. Rodney Randall going backwards too. Kept trying to get around the coverage. So Montreal does keep the ball, but they get pushed back further on the return by Randall. Stanback and the Alouettes. A 3-point lead in the East Division semifinal on TSN. Is the East nominee for most outstanding player in the CFL in 2021, the leading rusher in the Canadian Football League. I feel like I have to do that old school, more powerful than a steaming locomotive. William Stanback, though, 7th player with multiple 200 rushing games, able to leap defenders in a single bound. You go for it.
Yeah, no question, he has been nothing short of super this season, but he has had his kryptonite. And it's been this Hamilton Tiger Cat defense holding him to 99 yards, so 49.5 yards a game. Stanback had 12 carries in each of the 2 meetings with Hamilton.
He's had 12 yards carrying, and not much to add to the total on that carry too, so the trend overall is continuing with the job the Ticats are doing up front defensively on number 31.
And as much as we talk about the passing game, the big game big play ability that this Montreal offense possesses. It's a great group of receivers, but the guy who kind of makes things tick in my mind is William Stanback. Creates space for everybody else to do their thing.
There's 2 more yards there. 6 carries, 14 yards. So the Ticats D is doing it again to William Stanback. 2nd and 8. Harris, passing situation. With time, over the middle, incomplete. Reggie White, Jr. with a first down for Montreal.
You'll see Reggie White, Jr. coming out of the slot here. And this is a guy who, for me, is one of the X factors of the Alouettes in these playoffs. A young man who came on strong late in the season, spent the first part of the year on the practice roster, got into the lineup when B.J. Cunningham went down, and has been very impressive.
Handing off, Stanback grinds his way up across the 45 of Montreal. So working for every yard he can get, picks up about 4. Trevor Harris, by the way, completions to 6 different receivers.
We saw a big collision between Stanback and Jagarrett Davis in the backfield. Stanback running through it, but once again, it's a little professional respect there between those 2 veterans.
Between 2 great ball players right there. 2nd and 6. Stanback again. Nothing doing again. First Ted Laurent, then Davis in there. And William Stanback held for a loss on that play, and the Alouettes will have to kick it away.
And it may not be yielding a lot in the way of yardage, as you see a little more chatter out there on the field between the teams, but I think it's important for Montreal to continue to get the ball, put the ball in Stanback's hands a little bit, and keep that defense honest. As I said earlier, if they're focused on defending him, he's going to create some space in the passing game.
So Zima to punt it again for just the 2nd time today. Flag down with the kick of the ball. Poppy White picks it up and goes down right away. You talked about it. That's the job up front defensively by the Ticats that can hold William Stanback in check. Ted Laurent denies him. The Ticats have the ball, still down by 3. There's always something new on Crave. Don't miss exclusive shows and the latest hit movies. Streaming this December. New plans starting as low as $9.99 per month. Interesting development here. Because of penalties, the Alouette offense is back on the field after that punt by Zima. They haven't announced it. Roughing the kicker, I believe he said, and they move it up 15 yards. So it's up to the 43 for the Alouettes. So instead of getting the ball back, that Ticat defense is still out there on the field here in the 2nd quarter.
With at least a slight break.
It was actually unnecessary roughness because the center was hit, the long snapper on the kick, which is now against the rules in the CFL. That was the penalty. That's the reason why it's 1st and 10 Owls. Eugene Lewis with his first catch. It's a short reception. Just a couple of yards for the Alouettes. Carriel Brooks is all over.
Yeah, quick hitter crossing route from Lewis, coming from his boundary wide receiver spot across the middle. But Brooks, once again, an East Division All-Star at halfback, comes down to make the tackle in a hurry.
Eugene Lewis has been hurt lately. He didn't play last week in their season finale. He had a hip injury, now a groin injury, but even though he was doubtful, getting the start, getting that catch, a short one. So it's 2nd and long here. And downfield, a beautiful catch by Julian Grant. The rookie out of St. FX, his second year with the Owls. And big offensive play for Montreal on the move at about the Tiger Cat 37.
Yeah, Julian Grant, you and I talked about him off camera, Rod, before this ball game. Bit of an underutilized weapon in the Montreal passing attack. Tall, athletic receiver, but lines up in that wide side wide receiver spot where sometimes you become the forgotten man. But targeted only 16 times despite starting all 14 regular season games.
Big catch there, biggest for Harris. As passes go in this game, and on the ground again for William Stanback. And it does look like, as you talked about, if Montreal is going to have success offensively, it'll have to be more through the air than on the ground. Stanback averaging just a little over 2 yards a carry.
A pretty good chess match going on already between Hamilton defensive coordinator Mark Washington and of course Kahari Jones calling the plays offensively in addition to his head coaching duties for Montreal.
2nd and 7, another good drive. Helped out by penalty too, but the ball comes out as Harris is taken down, and Julian Hauser, big man's got it, inside the 40, taken down by Quan Bray, not yet, he's still on his feet, and out of bounds for Hauser. Big pressure up front, Ticats, and they get a nice reward too as Harris coughs it up, and Julian Hauser finally taken down deep in Alouette territory. Hamilton football.
A big turnover there for the Hamilton Tiger Cat defense. Julian Hauser coming from the left side of your screen will ultimately recover the football as Trevor Harris gets spun around, loses control. Hauser scoops it up. And off he goes. Down to the Montreal 22-yard line.
Pretty agile for a big man, wouldn't you say? You're saying before he needed a DB to come up and help him out. He could pitch to him.
Looking for a lateral man.
Product of Clarion University, Julian Hauser, the defensive end with a big fumble recovery after the pressure on Trevor Harris. And a big turnover going Hamilton's way down to the Alouette 22. And the way this game has gone so far, at least in terms of time of possession.
The game clock to 7:36. 7:36.
The referee Tim Croker, but as a momentum swing, Ticats certainly need this. That defense has been on the field for a long time.
On an offense that has struggled to get going, as you see the time of possession. Bottom left corner of your screen, 17 minutes to 5, essentially, so far.
So what can Mazzoli and the offense do with this? Well, little option handoff to Poppy White, and not much there. The Will linebacker, Chris Aki, is in to take him down for a gain of 2 yards.
And here once again, you'll see the Montreal fumble. A big play for Hauser. Nice effort for the defensive end.
It'd be tough for Quan Bray to take him down. You saw him punching at the football. See if he can jar it loose again, but to no avail for the Owls. Hamilton ball now inside the 20 and a 2nd and long. Mazzoli. He looks deep into the end zone for Brandon Banks. Touchdown, Tiger Cats. Mazzoli, Banks, and the Cats make Montreal pay for that turnover.
A couple of guys who have been previous East Division finalists as the most outstanding player connect on this one. Jeremiah Mazzoli to Brandon Banks for the first touchdown of the day.
In a quieter season for Speedy B after he was the MOP in 2019, leading the league in receiving yards. Brandon Banks this year.
Hey, big assist for Julian Hauser.
Absolutely. Hauser can savor that moment, helping set up his team for a touchdown. Michael Domagala for the point after. With Dean Evans holding. And it's now 7 on the board for Banks and the Ticats. Mentioning Banks had just 474 yards receiving this year and just 2 touchdowns late in the season. He had been hurt for a while, but still not nearly as productive as we've become accustomed to in previous years.
And take a look once again, the touch on this football from Jeremiah Masoli. Just over top of Patrick Levels into the waiting arms of Brandon Banks. And Banks will share this one with the Tim Hortons Field faithful.
Coming out of the snow to watch their team. Brandon Banks with the touchdown, and there's the fan who gets that nice gift. The take home. The touchdown thrown by that man, Jeremiah Masoli. And despite all the momentum riding with Montreal in this game so far, one big turnover, a play by Julian Hauser, has really turned this game around, and the home side has the 7-3 lead. Montreal now trailing and awaiting the football on a short kickoff down to the 25. They run a reverse. Marc-Antoine Duquois with the ball and trying to find the edge and get around Beverette. He does. He gets it up across the 30. So
there's one of those wrinkles we talked about that you keep under wraps until the playoffs. Duquois, the rookie out of University of Montreal, the Canada program, one of the fastest men on the field without a doubt. Just unable to get outside on that one. We have this one coming back anyways. Spencer Moore, the veteran fullback and special teamer out of McMaster, was called for an illegal blindside block on the play.
Major foul, blindside block. Montreal number 80. It's half the distance to the goal, first down.
So a big penalty against the Alouettes as it pushes them back to start inside their 10 now. So yeah, momentum swinging against Kahari Jones and the Owls.
You saw the block by Moore, I believe Poppy White, the unfortunate recipient.
From the 9, taking the handoff and throwing it off to Cameron Artis-Payne. Gets it up to about the 12. A gain of 3. It'll be second and long again.
And go back and make a couple of points, Rod, about the touchdown scored by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I mean, first thing, this demonstrates exactly why we talk about the importance of turnovers as a stat far more than time of possession, as a turnover essentially negates time of possession. But the other piece of it is, because of the way that went down, the Hamilton defense still doesn't get a break.
Back on the field under more successful terms, but still. Oh, good pressure on Harris again. Are they ever getting some heat on him? The turnover the last time, and then he barely got rid of the football on second down. So the defense isn't on the field long this time around with a 2-and-out for the Alouettes, as Zima will have to punt it from about his end zone.
That's your middle linebacker, Javon Santos Knox.
On the field is an incomplete pass.
Moving up into a jet position at that defensive line, rushing off the edge. Coming from that backside, Harris didn't see him coming as he had that ball cocked to throw. Middle linebacker.
So that is the first 2-and-out for the Alouettes. Zima standing inside his own end zone. The momentum has swung. It continues to go the Ticats' way. They should get the ball in good field position here. Poppy White, midfield. And Moore taken down nicely by Kerfala Exame. The fans embracing their Ticats, wanting to see this team play again in 2 weeks' time in Grey Cup 108. Let's go back to Matthew.
Well, Roddy talked about a change in momentum. You could feel in that Brandon Banks touchdown. All season long, I've been talking to Ticats fans and Ticats players, especially Jalen Ackland, getting all kinds of love when he goes to the Walmart on Ottawa Street nearby. And Simone Lawrence also embracing fans when he's literally at the stop sign. Fans coming out and saying, "Can I just give you a hug? You're my husband's favorite player." Don Jackson also, when he's walking around his neighborhood, fans coming up to him telling him, "Listen, this is our year." Simone Lawrence saying, "In the year of the Grey Cup, our fans give us everything, guys."
Completed to Banks again and out of bounds after getting inside the Montreal 30. So Brandon Banks coming to life here in the second quarter. Another big catch from Jeremiah Masoli.
Yeah, Lyndon Banks up out wide on that wide side of the field. Four receiver set out there. He's just going to hang out by the sideline, make the first tackler miss.
First down at the 26. Completed again to Jalen Ackland. And it'll be second and short. Tommy Condell, the offensive coordinator for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, been here for several years. And his counterpart in this game, or the one he's going up against, matching wits with Baron Miles, the Hall of Famer, defensive coordinator for the Alouettes. As this chess match continues, and a 2nd and 2 after that 8-yard gain by Ackland. Faking it to Jackson. Masoli keeps it. And he just gets to the first down marker for Hamilton, just inside the Montreal 15.
Yeah, Masoli knowing exactly what he needs here. So he wasn't going to be able to really turn the corner and get upfield on this one. But seeing he's heading right for that first down marker, make sure he's just past it. Nice to have the fans helping out the officials today.
Back inside the 20. They were barely inside just moments ago when Masoli hit Banks for the one touchdown of this game. Don Jackson left side picks up a couple more yards. Ahmad Thomas, middle linebacker for the Owls, in the tackle.
A lot of chatter happening down at field level.
So a 2nd and 8. And they'll play one more. They'll have one more play here before the official 3-minute warning. Just under 3 now. And counting. What a change in this game. Pressure in Masoli falls incomplete on the 2nd and 8. And the flag comes out. Was that unnecessary roughness on the quarterback, Jeremiah Masoli? This could be going against Montreal. As Michael Wakefield pleads his case. In the pressure of Masoli.
Roughing the passer. Montreal number 96. 15-yard, half the distance to goal, and automatic first down. Timeout.
Wakefield, the former Ottawa Red Black, part of that D-line rotation.
So now, with 2:36 on the clock, it is the official 3-minute warning. The Ticats in business to increase their lead.
All across.
Coming up at the half, we're going to be talking about containing sandbag, the change in momentum, the TD pass, and Milt kept his promise.
I grew my hair back. I'll cut it off before our halftime show, but I'm a man of my word. I still look good, baby.
No, you don't.
Gotta admit it. I look good.
Terrible.
When it comes to cutting his hair, Milt Stegall always keeps his promises. Here's the penalty now.
Yeah, you see 96 Wakefield comes in, hits Masoli low. We talked about that strike zone earlier. He's below the knees. Unsafe play for the quarterback with his feet planted.
So instead of a field goal try, it's 1st and goal for the Ticats, leading 7-3 late in the first half. Handing off to Don Jackson. Driving 3-2-1. Touchdown, Ticats. Jackson finds the end zone. Patrick Levels and the Alouettes find themselves now in a bigger hole.
This was a play that looked initially like it wasn't going to have a chance to go anywhere.
Touchdown stands.
As Jackson first brought it to the right, front side on the play. Nothing there. He kind of picks his way, using his vision. As you see, the Owls did a nice job standing it up. But Jackson found a crack. Then it was BYOB, be your own blocker. Fight his way into the end zone.
So now they line up for the point after to make this a 14-3 lead for the Ticats. They were down by 3. Defense spending much of this first half on the field, but everything has changed. And all the momentum riding on Don Jackson and the Hamilton Tiger Cats, the home side.
There you see a look as Jackson started to his right, bounces it back left. Finds a crack here and gets it done.
That capped off a drive of 6 plays and 48 yards in about 2.5 minutes. And like Montreal's field goal drive early, aided by a penalty. A roughing the passer call on Michael Wakefield that would have left Hamilton going for 3 instead of picking up another touchdown.
So the Alouettes, turnovers and penalties on the list of self-inflicted wounds that have them trailing here in the first half of this ballgame.
Gets across the Montreal 50, or 30, excuse me. Kate and the panel standing by to talk about this one. A lot of talk about the Alouettes. I heard their predictions too, and we're not even at halftime, so this game far from over. And the way Montreal looked for a while, they were in charge, but Hamilton has woken up with the snow coming down here at Tim Hortons Field. Kate and the panel, halftime coming up. Alouettes trying to close this gap now, trailing 14-3. Trevor Harris. They've been getting a lot of heat on him lately, but he has time, and he completes it. No, he doesn't. Into the hands and out of Jake Winicky, up close to the Montreal 50. Another drop and a costly 1-2 for the Owls.
Yeah, Winicky working back to the football, and I know for receivers this can sometimes be tough and kind of cushioning the ball as you're coming towards it, but Winicky does a good job catching it away from his body in his hands, and makes you wonder if this is a weather factor, if the hands are a little bit cold and not quite feeling the ball the way that he normally would, Rod.
You haven't seen the weather a factor in terms of slick conditions. Don't see them sliding around much with the snow down. They've had to clear the field before the game a couple of times. Harris on the move. He dumps it off to Stanback, who gets good yardage after the catch as well, and a first down for the Alouettes. Under 2 minutes to go.
This is a nice way to let Stanback use his power, as this time Harris able to escape the on-rushing Julian Hauser. Stanback with a little bit of space and an opportunity to drop the shoulder on a couple of defenders.
So 1st and 10, the Montreal 46, swinging it out. Winicky. Another first down across midfield, has enough to move the sticks again. Still plenty of time to add some points here before halftime.
And I don't think Jake Winicky's a guy who, given his resume, is going to have his confidence rattled by a drop, but nonetheless, nice to see them put the ball right back in his hands after that and get him involved.
One of the top receivers in the CFL in 2021, as is his teammate Eugene Lewis. He's had but 1 catch in this game so far. Under pressure, the ball is out again, and the Ticats have it again. Jagarrett Davis, and the whistle keeps blowing, and the first momentum swing of this game.
Yeah, Trevor Harris, you saw him wrapped up by Tiger Cat defenders, and then there was just that one more hit that popped the ball free. Dylan Wynn, the first guy to fall on the ball. Then you saw Harris scoop it away from him. With Wynn down on the field and covering the football, presumably he would be ruled down.
Whistle had blown just as Dylan Wynn was on it, and blows again here with flags coming out on this first down for the Ticats.
There it is. What is it? You hit him and I fucking.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Montreal number 21. 50-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Another penalty against the Alouettes, Chris Aki.
Yeah, and you saw Hamilton continue with the play despite the whistles blowing, and I think for the players it was hard to hear the whistles. I think that was the case for Chris Aki. He thought the play was still live. I think it was Brandon Banks that he kind of ran through there.
He's got the Ticats in scoring range again before halftime. Another sudden turn down at the 35 of Montreal. Mazzola off to his left. No. Intended there for Brandon Banks. Coverage by Rodney Randall, and it's bobbled out of bounds.
I've become a fan of the physical play of Rodney Randall. Wide side corner for the Montreal Alouettes. Another guy who made his way into the lineup as the season went on.
Banks can't hang on there, but he's had a couple of big catches, one for a touchdown that gave Hamilton the lead. Now up by 11. Still over a minute to go till halftime. Early movement. Nick Usher, Jamal Davis, they're pointing fingers Hamilton's way, but they both crossed the line of scrimmage with flags coming out.
The officials seem to be signaling it against Montreal. A couple penalties.
Outside. Montreal number 99. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Couple penalties in quick succession, helping this Ticat drive.
The Alouettes, the most penalized team in the CFL in the regular season, and it was Hamilton taking the penalties earlier, a couple of roughing the passer calls that aided a drive. But since then, Montreal's been penalized more. And like the turnovers, getting costly here on a 2nd and 5. In behind the intended receiver Dunbar. Money Hunter is there. It falls incomplete. So 3rd down.
Hunter, who led the Montreal defense with 10 knockdowns this season. Had a couple of picks as well. This time shutting down Stephen Dunbar.
And so on comes Michael Domagala. In a year where the kicking game has been a problem for the Ticats, a late season switch as they released Taylor Bertolet, bringing Domagala back. 7 for 10, longest 46. This from 37 away, and it is perfect. Michael Domagala, and 3 more off the turnover late in this first half for Orlando Steinauer's Ticats. They were down 3, but it's 17 unanswered, and a 14-point lead here late in the half.
A smooth operation there for the Tiger Cats, from snap to hold to kick. Domagala puts it through, but you mentioned that kicking situation. On the year, the Tiger Cats as a team were under 70% in terms of their field goal success rate. Opponents at about hitting about 90% against them. And so you have a very quick explanation right there for why the Tiger Cats had an 0-3 record in close games, games decided by 4 points or fewer.
That defense jarred the ball loose from Trevor Harris twice. Those 2 turnovers have led to 10 Hamilton points, 10-0. They lead in points off turnovers, 17-3. They lead in this playoff game with a minute to go until halftime.
Reggie White Jr. with that reception. As Trevor Harris and the Alouettes try to quickly maneuver their way into field goal range into the last minute of the half.
2nd and 5 after the White catch. And Quan Bray has it, and a first down for the Alouettes. Trying to get at least within field goal range for David Cote. It's been up near midfield twice in this second quarter. But that defense has forced Harris to fumble. He gets rid of it here. And not really near his intended receiver, Jake Winicky. The coverage is good from the Ticats. 2nd down.
They're trying to push it a little bit and see if they can get some yardage in one big chunk, but that one sailing long.
That Hamilton defense, coordinated by Mark Washington, the biggest story now in this first half, forcing the turnovers that have changed the tide of this game. Alouettes at their 47. He has time. His receiver fell. It's intercepted by Stavros Katsantonis. And it continues to go the way of the Ticats D. Harris had time. His receiver fell. It gets deflected into the hands of the rookie from UBC, getting the start at safety after the injury to Deontay Evans.
There's your intended receiver, Reggie White Jr. Little out and up move there, but Katsantonis helping over top. Last man added to the starting lineup today as Deontay Evans was a game-time decision. Ultimately decided the field halfback would be out of the lineup with a thigh contusion. He was replaced by free safety Tunde Adeleke. Katsantonis gets the start at free safety and makes the most of the opportunity.
And Hamilton's at midfield and completing that pass to Ackland. So is Hamilton's scoring done for this first half? That's twice now we've been thinking, Dwayne, that Montreal's trying to get some points on the board before halftime, and Hamilton's ended up taking it back the other way. Thanks to the turnovers.
Yeah, exactly. No sooner had you mentioned that 10 points off turnovers as this Tiger Cat defense comes up with another one.
Under 20 seconds to go until halftime. Mazzoli trying to get them a bit closer. Jackson down to the 40 and out of bounds. It's a first down, but it's 8 seconds to go. Can run one more play, you would think, before a field goal try. What a change in this second quarter. To think of how long Montreal had the ball. Well executed, long drives, keeping that Ticat defense on the field. But it all hinged on the first turnover forced by the Ticats defense. Julian Hauser taking it down close, and they cashed in. Different ball game now. Mazzoli. He's looking deep. Taking a shot. And nearly picked off. Intended there for Dunbar. 1 second to go. A flag is down.
Legal contact on a receiver. Montreal number 12.
Yeah, so that's over on the other side of the field. Against Najee Murray, the field halfback, as you get a look at the strong coverage boundary side between Greg Reed and Hunter.
And still time for one play as they get it closer for Michael Domagala. 1 second on the clock. It gets down to the exact yardage he just hit from. 37 yards he'll try this from. The ball down at the 30 of the Alouettes. Keeps going from bad to worse for the Alouettes. If Domagala can hit this from the right hash. Michael Domagala studio.
Well, let's
Turnovers, but neutralizing William Stanback, who's standing by with Matthew Shinetti.
William, there's a lot of pride in that locker room. What was the messaging when you were in the locker room at halftime?
Just making sure, letting each other know that we got another half. It's not over. 60-minute game. We just got to come out here and just start executing.
Patrick Levels talked about that all week, that it's going to be a full 4 quarters. How does that start, though, in the second half?
Just coming out here and just sticking to the game plan, man. You know, it's been tough for us in the first half, but we just got to stick to the game plan and just make sure we do what we got to do to win.
Thank you, William.
Thank you.
William Stanback only 18 yards rushing in that first half. And as said, that's just part of what the Tiger Cat defense has done. They'll be on the field first for Hamilton after this kickoff to get the second half started. It comes down to Montreal's Cameron Artis-Payne. And a short return, a 20-3 Hamilton lead, 20 unanswered points, Dwayne Ford, and 13 straight points off turnovers.
Yeah, the Hamilton defense got it going. It was Julian Hauser coming up with the fumble recovery, took that into Montreal territory to set up the first touchdown of the game. Another Trevor Harris fumble, that time recovered by Dylan Wynn. And then the half closing with the rookie free safety, Stavros Katsantonis, picking that one off to set up the late Michael Domagala field goal.
Haven't seen too many games where one play, that recovery by Hauser, taking it down deep, has really just changed the entire momentum and texture of this game. It's Lorenzo Malden down for the Ticats, injured on that kickoff coverage. The veteran Chris Van Zyl, one of those checking on him, so he gets some attention there. But Hauser got it. It was Dylan Wynn forcing that fumble to Trevor Harris, and just up front defensively. That front four, especially for the Ticats, the pressure that they've got on Trevor Harris, the job they've done on William Stanback.
Yeah, we talk about that group all the time as one of the strengths of this Hamilton Tiger Cats team, but they have had their talents on full display today, Rod. As you said, it's not just one thing. They're not one-dimensional. They have managed to limit the production of Stanback in the run, and then when they force Montreal into those passing situations, be able to shift gears and get after Trevor Harris a little bit.
Bear in mind, too, the Alouettes offense started well. That's their numbers that they're leading in this season, and led by Trevor Harris. They haven't missed a beat late in the season, even in the early parts of this game, where they had a couple of impressive long drives, one of them leading to that opening field goal. Could have had more. Lorenzo Malden was helped off by Van Zyl and Nikola Kalinic too. But
yeah, and Malden is a significant loss for them based on their roster today. Mason Bennett is out of the lineup after suffering an eye injury in the regular season finale. Bennett, the Canadian defensive end, an important part of their rotation.
So the second half begins, and Trevor Harris gets it to Eugene Lewis, his biggest reception of this game, just his second of this game, and it's good for a first down for the Alouettes.
Well, nice timing here. Off play action, Harris gets set. Quick strike just as Eugene Lewis makes his break at the first down marker.
Lewis bothered by injuries, a hip injury, groin injury. Third leading receiver in the CFL, just a yard behind BC's Brian Burnham. He had the lead for a while. He's had a great year in the regular season. His team is down by 17 to start the second half. They set up a draw to William Stanback, but still just 18 yards in the first half and just a couple more there as the Ticats up front continue to do a terrific job.
And when you consider that William Stanback through the regular season averaged over 6 yards a crack, you know, that's where I'd like to see Montreal get away from the tendency a little bit, where Stanback's runs are coming on first down or only in second and short. You know, I think you can keep the defense honest a little bit if you mix in some Stanback carries when you get to 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7.
His longest carry went for 8, 10 carries, 21 yards, flag out with the snap of the ball on a 2nd and long.
You know, even just to do it as a key breaker.
Procedure, Montreal number 68. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
So second and longer, 5 yards further back. after a procedure call against the left guard, David Foucault. Foucault getting the start after an injury to Philippe Gagnon. The last time the Alouettes were here, they had 3 injuries in their starting offensive line. David Menard, a defensive lineman, had to come over and play O-line for a while. In a game they came back and won, by the way. Owls have been down here before. Pompey Harris rolling out to the right, dumps it off for Stanback, who had it, bobbled it, dropped it, and it'll be third down.
The third drop of this ball game for Montreal Alouette receivers. It looked like they had this set up nicely. Stanback had to sneak it out towards the flat with a little bit of green space in front of him.
First possession, second half, and it stalls just across the 40 of Montreal. Joseph Zima standing back at the Alouette 26 to kick it away. Back to the Ticats, who start this half with a 17-point lead. Bobby White inside his 20. Spins. Paul Kozacek. Kerfella Exame take him down at the Hamilton 25. Jeremiah Mazzoli has thrown a touchdown pass in this game. His team with a big lead to start the second half.
There's a good reason to get.
Patrick Levels caused a stir this week, guaranteeing a victory for Montreal. And Brandon Banks was the one.
Watch the show! Matter of fact, watch the show!
Was the one that was being covered by Levels there, Dwayne, in the touchdown.
Yeah, he found himself chasing a little bit, and Brandon Banks had something to say. We'll see how that little one-on-one battle plays out as this game goes on, but you know, Patrick Levels is always up to compete.
Levels made the guarantee. He got backed by his teammates. They want someone who expects to win, obviously. It's Tim White on the catch. First catch of the day for Tim White, who's been a prominent part of this Tiger Cat offense, too, especially with all the injuries they've had and the receiving corps in 2021.
Yeah, Tim White has really been a godsend, quite frankly, for the Hamilton Tiger Cats offensively, ending up as an East Division All-Star. One of their leading receivers, a guy who wasn't in the starting lineup to open the season, but once he got in, they couldn't get him out.
From the 37, Don Jackson was a rushing touchdown in this game. But Tim White early in the season, well, first of all, Braylon Addison, a big part of their offense in 2019, was hurt, has missed most of the season. Brandon Banks was injured through a chunk of the season, too. So they had started Dunbar, and Tim White in there has been, as you said, absolutely outstanding for this team. You look at all the categories that he's leading the Ticats in 21.
Yeah, not their most targeted receiver, but he was the one who ended up with the most catches and most yards. Versatile guy. They can get him involved in the run game a little bit as well, offering some of that versatility that they lost with Braylon Addison out of the lineup.
In his first year in the CFL from Arizona State, Tim White had the catch. 2nd and 7. Pressure on Mazzoli. Woody Barron nearly had him. He still gets it away, intended for Dunbar. And Money Hunter is there too, so that one falls incomplete. It's 3rd down and long for Hamilton.
On the topic of verbal battles, Dunbar and Hunter have had their own going to that boundary side for much of this ball game. Nice defensive play there by the Montreal DB.
So the Ticats offense stalls, and Joel Whitford stands at his 25. Winner goes to BMO Field in Toronto next Sunday for the Eastern Final, to play for the right to come back here to Hamilton and Grey Cup 108. Whitford settles in for Quan Bray up across the Alouette 30 to about the 32. The late flag out as well. Trevor Harris back on. His team down 17. 12 of the NFL season continues today with a full slate of afternoon games, including an AFC West clash. Chargers, Broncos coverage starting at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, followed by Sunday Night Football on CTV and TSN. The NFL on TSN, NFL Red Zone 2 available on TSN.ca and the TSN app. But you're watching the CFL. It's playoff time. We got the East, we got the West next. Calgary and Saskatchewan, and a first down pushback by penalty for Trevor Harris. Throwing a deep ball to a wide open Eugene Lewis. He got ahead of Desmond Lawrence, and that's the kind of play the Alouettes needed to flip the field and see if they can get back and get some points on the board. Big first down, Montreal.
Well, needed in a big way. Lewis lined up to the outside, far left of your screen. One-on-one matchup out there. As you said, he gets in behind the corner. Nice shot from Trevor Harris down that sideline. We talk all the time about football games being decided by a handful of big plays. We know certainly that the Julian Hauser fumble recovery has been one of them to this point in the game. The Alouettes hoping that this could be one for them that gets things going.
And following that, William Stanback, who was barely averaging 2 yards a carry, picks up 7, nearly 8 yards on that first down to set up a second and short just inside the Tiger Cat 40 for Montreal. Stanback. Nothing. It's a black and gold wall to greet 31, as he might have even lost a few inches on that carry.
And I know when you have a running back like William Stanback, you know, I have talked about the down and distance and how they use him and so on. You don't want to get locked in and you don't want to get predictable, and a situation like that, when you're Hamilton, you are anticipating Stanback getting the ball, that might be a good opportunity to run some of the play action or bootleg stuff that we had talked about early in this ball game that may be open as a result of Hamilton keying on it.
And the Alouettes are going for it on 3rd and 3. Big play here early in the second half for Montreal. A 4-man rush with time over the middle, and they convert. It is Jake Winicky and a big first down inside the 30 for the Montreal Alouettes, and a gutsy 3rd and 3 call.
Yeah, and I like the aggressiveness of the call, especially at this time, this stage of the ball game. Montreal's got to stay on the field. They need momentum. They need points.
When they were last here in early October, the Alouettes trailed by 14 points to start the 4th quarter. They came back, and they ended up winning in overtime. Down by 17 now. Another deeper ball into the end zone for Harris. Touchdown, Alouettes. My goodness, what a catch by Geno Lewis. And at a time when they needed it badly.
Geno Lewis coming back from injury early in the week. They weren't sure he was going to be ready for this one. But no doubt Trevor Harris, after 2 big plays from Lewis on this drive, certainly glad to have him in the lineup. Lewis fans will remember had a big catch to set the stage in the Alouettes comeback. The overtime victory here at Tim Hortons Field in October.
David Cote on for the point after try. 32 out. Cote adds a point. Gets Montreal closer. 5 plays, 93 yards. A little over 2.5 minutes midway through this 3rd quarter. Different ball game now. The Ticats lead, but the crowd has been quieted a bit. 2010 ball game. The Alouettes look down and out, but just like their trip in early October, Lewis, part of the attempted comeback, and succeeded back then. It's a nice 28-yard catch from Trevor Harris.
Yeah, after that gutsy 3rd down gamble, Eugene Lewis helps make it pay off. Trevor Harris lays it in there. Lewis goes up and gets it, and these two continue to demonstrate very quick chemistry between quarterback and receiver.
Lewis had that chemistry with Vernon Adams as well, who got injured and knocked out Thanksgiving Monday for the balance of the season. Bobby White in the return after the Montreal touchdown and taken down. Lewis, the biggest catch of the season, 3rd and 20 on this field from Vernon Adams to force overtime. As mentioned, when they were down by a couple of touchdowns.
Here you'll see Lewis lines up on the outside. His usual, most frequent alignment is the boundary wide receiver. Desmond Lawrence, first-year defender, trying to manage that tough matchup.
And actually, that touchdown catch back in October put them ahead. That's right. And got a field goal from midfield by Taylor Bertolette to force OT. So that actually put them ahead when they were down by as much as 17-3 in that game. Down 20-3, now a 20-10 game. And the pass completed close to first down yardage to Jalen Acklin.
Yeah, Jalen Acklin, I thought, really expanded his game this season, moving into the slot more frequently after primarily lining up as a wideout during his 2019 rookie season.
And Mazzoli keeps on the 2nd and short for the first down for the Ticats.
Acklin emerged this year as Hamilton's most targeted receiver. Guy capable of coming up with the big play. Tall, big frame. He brings some size and toughness to that receiving corps.
That first highlight in Winnipeg, that was the season opener back in August. And actually gave the Ticats the lead on the Bombers, who came roaring back and won that game decisively in a meeting of the two teams that had played in the Grey Cup in 2019. Don Jackson on the carry, picking up a couple of yards on first down. First-year linebacker Ahmad Thomas in on the tackle. But expectations for the Ticats, Dwayne, were high after 2019, losing to the Bombers in the Grey Cup. Had that fast start of Acklin getting that touchdown from Mazzoli, but they lost their first two, and it was a slow start.
Yeah, a tough start on the road in Winnipeg and in Regina. Went through some injuries, missing some guys to start the season.
It was deflected as it falls down shy of Brandon Banks on that 2nd and long. So 3rd down now as Mazzoli heads off the field.
Well, quick work there for the Montreal defense. Coming off their team's scoring drive. Looking to maintain that momentum through another offensive possession. Try to pull within a score here.
Greg Reed, the lone man back for Montreal to return this punt to Joel Whitford as we see momentum swinging back here in the second half. Montreal's way, starting the half down 17. Went down for a touchdown from Harris to Eugene Lewis, and now they'll have the ball again. Reed with a flag down. Gets taken down at the Montreal 30. Michael Wakefield from Florida International gets those hands up. Gets a piece of that pass, Mazzoli, and forces the punt. It's Montreal football, now down just 10. Been an interesting, to say the least, season for Trevor Harris, who started in Edmonton, now looking to finish it off in a much better way. More in his approach from Matthew.
Absolutely, Rod. You know, Trevor Harris started this season thinking that he would be such a big part of the Edmonton Elks and what they were going to trying to get to the Grey Cup. He is here now in Montreal. So much about Trevor Harris's approach. The TB12 method. He trains at Tom Brady's Institute in the offseason. Sports psychology, but he said when he got to Montreal after the trade, it was about keeping his toes on the ground, about understanding about he needs to be in the moment. Kahari Jones said the second that Trevor Harris came into offensive meetings, he was asking the right questions. I talked to Trevor Harris yesterday and said, what is it about being in Montreal that means so much much to you. He says, listen, I still get to play big moments. I still get to play football. I still get a chance to win, guys.
Interesting, Matthew. He told us earlier, expressing that many times, I don't care about the future right now, and I don't care about the past. It's now. Now, down 10, third quarter, coming off a touchdown drive, but starting at the 10, swinging it out to Jake Winicki. Gets up across the 15, and a second down.
Trevor Harris talked a lot about his teammates in Montreal as well, and how quickly they have made him feel comfortable and making for that smooth transition as well.
Well, he was the quarterback that beat Kahari Jones' team, the Alouettes, 2 years ago in the East Semi when Edmonton crossed over. And he's the guy that threw 6 touchdown passes against Hamilton in the 2018 East Final in Ottawa as the Red Blacks went on to the Grey Cup. Harris has experience. Trying to apply it again now, and he completes it. The coverage was there from Tunde Adeleke, but Reggie White hung on, and just enough for a first down, moving the sticks for the Alouettes.
They're going to see Reggie White coming out of the slot here, working out towards the flat. Adeleke once again moving over at the last minute from his usual free safety spot where he was an East Division All-Star to play field half when Deontay Evans was unable to go today.
What an addition Reggie White has been to that Owls offense too, with a play action fake. Off to the right again and completing it. And another first down. Eugene Lewis, who just had a touchdown, another catch for him. The Owls should have enough. Yes, they do for first and 10. Short to mid-range passes, another first down for the Alouettes.
And there you see this emerging dynamic duo, Eugene Lewis and Jake Winicki, combining for 20 receiving touchdowns this year, ranking number 1 and number 2 in the Canadian Football League in that category. Both in the top 5 in receiving yards as well.
Winicki had a couple last week in the season finale against Ottawa, 11 on the year. Pressure on Harris again. The last 2 times in that scenario, they were able to force the ball free, but they'll take that. A sack on first down. It'll be second and long. Loss of just about 5 yards.
Jagarrett Davis coming from the left side. Among a trio of Tiger Cats meeting at the Montreal quarterback.
See how carefully Harris is hanging onto that ball when the pressure was coming too, right?
Yeah, after a couple of fumbles. Certainly doing his best to take care of the rock here.
2 Harris fumbles turned the tide in the second quarter. One returned by Julian Hauser that led to a touchdown, another led to a field goal. 13-0 points out turnovers for Hamilton. Second and 14. Under pressure again, he takes off. And he is taken down. Coming up to get him is Simone Lawrence at the 50, well shy of an Alouette first down. They'll have to kick it away. The leading tackler in the history of the Hamilton Tiger Cats with a big defensive play there.
Yeah, Harris not seeing what he wanted downfield, but gets to see him, an opportunity to use his legs to extend this play. But there you see the range and the ability to make plays in space of Simone Lawrence.
Joseph Zeman to kick it away. Poppy White picking it up at the 25.
As a world champion, I prepare to win. I still do today. Every game starts at bet99.net.
Back at Tim Hortons Field in the second half. 1:30 to go in the third quarter. Simone Lawrence, yes, became the all-time leader in tackles in Ticats history last week. is the nominee once again for the second straight season from the East for Defensive Player of the Year. Up against Winnipeg's Adam Bighill. That'll be decided at the awards in Grey Cup week. Quickly inside to Tim White. Picks up good yardage for the Ticats and a first down.
And this technically with a bit of a shovel pass will go down as a reception for Tim White, but a play generally considered part of the run game.
Little trickery here, a little reverse here to Banks. Looked like they were going the other way. Misdirection, but the Alouettes will have nothing of it. Ty Cranston is there as they escort him out of bounds.
Yeah, very similar play, just with a different look leading up to it. Different motion, different pre-snap. Brandon Banks looking to try to get to the sideline and turn that corner. The Alouettes played it well.
Cranston, the product of the University of Ottawa, Winnipeg native, and forces a loss of a yard for Banks and the Ticats and a second and long here. Should be the last play of the third quarter. Hamilton still leads, just not by as much. Completing that pass to Acklin again, and for a first down, 2 for the Tiger Cats. And that is three-quarter time. Mentioned before, the Alouettes have been in this situation before here at Tim Hortons Field. They're going to need another comeback. The Ticats looking to move on to the Eastern Final in Toronto. They have the lead through 45 minutes.
He's the straw that stirs the drink. And they have limited his effectiveness here today in a big way.
At 18 yards at halftime, he's 29 now, so 11 more yards. That's it on 12 carries total for 29 for William Stanback. And it was a first down pass from Jeremiah Masoli to Jalen Acklin. They got them up to midfield and a first down. As this drive continues, but not in this play. All-star Brandon Revenberg, left guard, moving.
Hamilton, number 57. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
A miscue in what's been a very good year for that man, though.
It certainly has. Revenberg for the second time in his career. East Division finalist, his most outstanding offensive lineman.
Up against Winnipeg Stanley Bryant, their great left tackle who's won it before a couple of times. Perennial nominee, it seems. First and 15. Pressure coming. Reed on the blitz. Mazzoli gets it away. It is bobbled initially by Don Jackson, but he does hang on. And gets more of the penalty yardage back and then a couple more yards on top of it.
Baron Miles unleashes the hounds on that one, sending the secondary blitz. Greg Reed coming from his weak side halfback spot. He was unblocked, but Masoli got rid of that ball just in time.
In the fourth quarter, the Ticats trying to hang on or increase that 10-point lead. With more heat coming, he gets it away and he completes it. Another one to Brandon Banks. They're in Alouette territory inside the 40. They're on the move with their 10-point lead.
And I'm a believer that Jeremiah Masoli's mobility, his ability to use his legs is underrated. You know, I mean, this is a guy that they don't call a lot of runs for him, but very effective when they do. And you just saw in that instance, when things break down a little bit, he has the ability to create and turn that into a positive play.
Sean Thomas Erlington in the backfield and getting it. He set up a screen, but it goes maybe a yard on that first down. Or a loss of a yard. for Thomas Erlington.
Yeah, good recognition from the Montreal D here. You see Reed and Hunter. And that secondary coming up unblocked.
All of the Tiger Cat points came in the first half. All in the second quarter. They trailed 3-0 after one. The Montreal 38. Nick Usher putting some heat on Mazzoli, who tries to find Acklin, but that's incomplete. Third down.
The Tiger Cats fortunate to get away without a holding call there.
Holding. Hamilton, number 54. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
There's the call in question.
The right tackle, the veteran Chris Van Zyl.
Yeah, you saw the hands get outside. And again, we talk about it from time to time. The one position in pro sports with you where you play with your back to the play. Back to
on the blitz. Sorry, Dwayne, taking him down. Marc-Antoine Duquois untouched as he moves in on Jeremiah Mazzoli and pushes the Ticats way back.
Going to see Duquois come off the edge, getting in this blitz package. Tremendous athlete. Picked up in the 2020 CFL draft by the Alouettes. He was coached in university by Alouettes now general manager Danny Machocha, Université de Montréal, who lost yesterday, by the way, as Scott Flory's team defeats the team on which his former quarterback Anthony Calvillo is the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach.
Big win in the UTEP. The flag down on this punt return for no yards. So Alouette football and tack on a few more yards to that. Duquois from the Montreal Carabin, the rookie, taking down Jeremiah Mazzoli, driving the Ticats back. Montreal down by 10, fourth quarter.
It's time.
For Lorenzo Malden there, the Ticats mic'd up. Unfortunately, out of this game, got hurt earlier in the second half. Trevor Harris, some instructions. Kahari Jones. Maybe going to Eugene Lewis more. First half, Lewis had just one catch.
And a no yards penalty against Hamilton, number 88. The gain was greater. It's first down. Both penalties declined.
And the referee, Tim Kroger, bottom line. Yardage added on after the return up to the Montreal 39. Mentioning Gino Lewis, just one catch for 2 yards in the first half. In the third quarter, he had 4 catches for 96 yards. And the touchdown that has got Montreal back to within 2 scores. It's a 10-point game. 11:27 in the clock. Who's going to Toronto for the Eastern Final? More pressure on Harris. Steps up, gets it away, and nearly completed it to Lewis there, with the coverage coming from Desmond Lawrence, who appears to be injured on the play.
And this would be a significant injury. Remember, with Deontay Evans, a late scratch from this ball game, the Ticats are thin on the back end. Landing there for the Tiger Cat defensive back. And the near miss. A big play for Montreal.
And Lewis had a chance. There was a penalty called. It was against the Alouettes, and it was declined by the Ticats.
So it'll be Nick Cross who comes in. I do believe, rookie out of UBC.
Lawrence had done a commendable job in that secondary after the injury to Frankie Williams when they moved Jamal Roll over to the field side, and he moved in at boundary corner.
A big play there, getting a hand in to break things up. So we'll see if it looks like Cross may come in at nickel and Cameron Kelly will drop back to the secondary. Cross, an outstanding player at that position at UBC, Saskatchewan native. So Cameron Kelly goes out to the field corner. Tunde Adeleke at field half, so technically two guys playing out of position at that spot.
He's coming on 2nd and 10, and Harris is taken down. Javon Santos Knox coming in. Julian Hauser having a big day today. And another big play by that Ticats defense.
There you see Julian Hauser, already a big part of the story today. Nice little head fake and rip inside. Find his path to the Montreal quarterback.
So Zima on to kick it away again. They did have some momentum going in that 3rd quarter with the touchdown scored by Lewis, but Hamilton's defense is stepping up again. Poppy White, nowhere to go on that return. Julian Hauser, big fumble recovery, big sack, lots of pressure by the black and gold on Trevor Harris today. Hamilton football, 10-point lead, 10-17 to go. Coverage of the Tim Hortons curling trials comes to a thrilling end tonight with the men's finals as the top teams battle to keep their Olympic dreams alive. You can catch it at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on TSN. I'd like to welcome our viewers, TSN3, watch the Jennifer Jones victory in the women's trials. Earlier, Rod Smith, Wayne Ford, Matthew Shinetti here at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton, Eastern semifinal. And it's Hamilton leading Montreal in the 4th quarter by 10. Jeremiah Masoli, quarterback for the Ticats, throws that one off to his left, and it is incomplete. Masoli 14-23 in this game so far.
Masoli, I think it was really more of a throwaway than being intended for a receiver, but the closest Ticat in the area, Nikola Kalinic, fullback. Baron Miles hoping for a big play from his group to try and turn the tide here.
Off to the right and complete. 10-1. Alouettes prevent him from getting to a first down. It will be 3rd and short, but at least a yard. 2, call it. Up across the Hamilton 45. And the punting unit will come on after a little bit of hesitation.
And a game in which Hamilton has really not had the football a lot. The debate as to whether to try and keep this drive alive, but not wanting to gamble at this stage.
Keep it in the hands of a defense that's just had a brilliant afternoon after being tested so much in the 1st quarter when the time of possession was overwhelmingly in favor of the Alouettes. Whitford punting it off to the right. Shorter punt. It's taken by Reed outside his 20, and he gets up to the 30. But a big part of the story of that Hamilton defense has been the job they have done again against William Stanback. They did the best defense against Stanback in that Owls running game all season long, Gwen.
Yeah, and once again, giving you the numbers. During the regular season, Stanback averaged over 107 yards a game against the rest of the league, 49.5 yards a game against Hamilton. 6.4 yards a carry against the rest of the league, 4.1 yards per carry against Hamilton. The Ticats even lowering that average today with the work they've done against the Montreal running back.
I'm going to say in this game, 12 carries, 29 yards, less than 3 yards a carry for William Stanback. Harris fakes to him. And with time, he wanted Eugene Lewis. That ball goes high. It falls incomplete and second down.
And Montreal approaching that stage in the ball game where they're going to feel somewhat obligated to put the ball in the air and not even attempt the stand back option anymore. Needing 2 scores as we're down under 9 minutes to go in this football game.
Just using the play action fake to buy a bit of time for Colonel Harris.
Could be. People always seem to bite on it, regardless of situation.
Off to the right. Coverage is there. Cameron Kelly, as we talked about, just switching positions.
A little surprised not to see a flag on that one, Rod, as that ball was in the air. It looked like, I believe it was Cameron Kelly who was tangled up with Quan Bray, and now there is a challenge flag down at the Montreal bench.
Jamal Roll,
yeah. Looked like a hockey fight down there, the way they were grabbing each other's jerseys.
Bit of a scrum ensuing around Quan Bray. So the challenge by the Alouettes.
Montreal's chanceling previous play for pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
And a big review it is. 8:31 on the clock. Still a 2-score lead for the Tiger Cats.
We'll take another look at the play currently being reviewed. We will review it for ourselves, Roderick Smith. There you see, both guys doing a little bit of fighting there. We'll leave this one to the professionals.
Well, what's the call then?
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Montreal, by losing the challenge, has lost the timeout. Third down.
Well, Kari Jones can just laugh about it now, losing the challenge, but is that a challenge that you needed to make at this stage?
Well, yeah, I mean, he made the right call to gamble on it, and I know both guys were grabbing, but I am a little surprised that one went against him, quite honestly.
He thought he had a case which would have given Montreal a first down. Instead, they punted away. Joseph Zima with Poppy White running in to take a short punt off the hop. Ticats in good shape here as he waits, takes the 5-yard, no yards. And then gets taken down. Didn't see Marc-Antoine Duquois in behind him. So Hamilton football and in good field position. This is part 1 of the playoff doubleheader. Coming up, Mosaic and Regina, and another meeting between the Stampeders and the Rough Riders. They had 3 close games, all close together in the regular season sked. And those 2 rivals meeting again. Dustin Nielsen, Glenn Suter with the call of that one coming up to see who will go to Winnipeg for the Western Final next week.
Yeah, a couple of teams that met 3 times in a 4-week span. Stampeders taking 2 of those during the regular season.
And Calgary had at least one opponent in between because Saskatchewan had a bye. They had 3 straight games against the Stampeders. Dickinson versus Dickinson.
Yes.
And it was Craig who said, finally beating little brother Dave as a head coach in that last meeting between the 2.
Yeah. Only to see the stakes raised with a playoff meeting today.
Are they ever? Along the ground for Don Jackson and not much doing. It'll be second and long for the Tiger Cats.
And the Tiger Cats, who haven't been able to manage much in the way of sustained drives in this football game. I mean, they've benefited in terms of putting points on the board, largely off of turnovers, benefiting from short fields, and so on. But I mean, you're looking at a situation in the game now where they would love to be able to maintain possession, run the ball, run ball control offense, and tick down that clock.
Brandon Banks has a touchdown in this game. Coming back to the ball inside, but short gain. Hamilton is barely over midfield, so 2 and out for the Ticats.
Let's go. Good job. Good job, D. Good job.
Some encouragement from Vernon Adams.
Hey, be smart. Be smart, Pickett. Be smart.
until Thanksgiving Monday against Ottawa late in the game. A shoulder injury that knocked him out for the season, and predicated that move to trade for Trevor Harris. But they are running out of time. Down by 10.
Lots of time in the world of Canadian football, and especially when you have some of the offensive weapons that the Montreal Alouettes possess. It's a team that's capable of picking up yards in big chunks with guys like Lewis, Wenicky, Juan Bray, Reggie White, and we've seen Julian Grant as well. He's not targeted a lot, but he's had some big catches in terms of yardage this season.
Absolutely, and we saw Vernon Adams there, and he engineered the big comeback here in Montreal, or in Hamilton in early October for Montreal. Juan Bray going up, but he does not come down with the ball. He is hit as he reached up for it by Jamal Roll.
Well, Jamal Roll started the season as the boundary corner, flipped over to that field side after Frankie Williams went down. Talk about big play guys trying to fill absences in the lineup. It's certainly one of them for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
The ball's at the 16. Big second down, Harris. Pressure coming, and the ball came loose again. Christian Matt falls on it, and it looked this time like Harris had started the throwing motion, but no matter, because Montreal is going to have to punt again. And another case, Dwayne, of the pressure that the Tiger Cats have been getting up front.
Yeah, that defensive front was all over Trevor Harris once again. As you'll see them mixing it up, dropping out a defensive lineman, bringing the free safety.
Zima to punt it from his end zone, several yards deep. Bobby White at midfield, lost the ball. It's still out.
I think Montreal has it.
Regis Sibisu looked like he had the last chance to get it, and what a break this is for the Alouettes, who are about to give the Ticats great field position. And Bobby White lost the ball, and Sibisu comes up with it. Former Tiger Cat, Regis Sibisu.
Well, you see Poppy White, and White is a guy who is getting an opportunity on the roster as they try to fill the void created by the injury to Frankie Williams, the league's reigning most outstanding special teams player, and also a starting DB, of course, for Hamilton. White, backup receiver, loses the handle there.
And the rookie Marc-Antoine Duquois made his presence known in this game, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy you're going to see his star rise in this league over the course of the next couple of years.
So a challenge flag is out from Orlando Steinauer.
Hamilton is challenging the previous play for no yards. The play will be reviewed.
So the challenge is coming close together here. A big moment in the game. 5.5 minutes to go. Have a look.
And here we see just inside yeah, definitely. You look, he's inside the stripe, he's inside the stripe, so they are clearly within 5 yards of one another.
That was a Darius Pickett of the Alouettes, number 6, and clearly within 5 yards. So talk about big breaks. Big break right back for Orlando Steinauer's Ticats. As it appears.
And Tough break there for Darius Pickett. As you can see, he was blocked just before that and kind of stumbled and had to jam on the brakes, but not in time.
Here's the call from Tim Croker.
After review, no yards. Montreal, number 6. A 15-yard penalty. First down, Hamilton.
And not only is the turnover taken away, but another start for the Hamilton Tiger Cats inside Montreal territory.
And even though 5.5 minutes in the CFL can be like an eternity, the Ticats have an opportunity here to really seize control of this game in the late minutes. They lead by 10.
93 power, ZA, hit. Monday, ready?
A touchdown here. They start at the 40 of Montreal. Could put this thing away. They're thinking of a trip down the QEW to face the Argos next week. They keep it on the ground. Don Jackson.
And Hamilton at this point might be somewhat content to take what they can get. Slug it out on the ground or stick to strictly high percentage passes. Whether it's kicking for points or kicking for field position if you get to third down.
And the clock keeps ticking. 4:39. 2nd and 6. Montreal 36. Jeremiah Masoli. Under pressure, gets it away, dumps it off nicely to Tim White, who's still going. Patrick Levels punches the ball out on Tim White, but a big gain by Hamilton. Ball hit it out of bounds. There's one Alouette trying to argue that it should be theirs.
Patrick Levels shaken up on the play. A nice awareness by Jeremiah Masoli as he's stepping up. Probably looking to run, but spots Tim White in front of him. Turns that into a nice play. Good strip there by Levels, but I think he landed with the heel of White's shoe to right in his gut.
Levels, the focal point heading into this game. Earlier this week, guaranteeing a victory for Montreal. His team down 10 points and in a bad situation here for their defense with the ball on the Montreal 12 and a 1st and 10. Masoli and the Ticats faking to Poppy White. Dumping it off and hit right away is Sean Thomas Erlington by the safety charging in, Ty Cranston.
Good recognition and reaction there from Cranston. Coming downhill, he's right at the bottom of your screen. You see, he sees that play running, coming, and he's just running to the spot to break it up.
Thomas Erlington picks up about a yard. Call it 2. 2nd and 8. Ball nosing near the Alouette 10. Under 3.5 minutes. Masoli intended for Thomas Erlington. And a bit too far for him. So 3rd down. And an important field goal try coming up here for the Ticats and Michael Domagala. It would still be a 2-score game, but if we're talking 2 scores, after a Hamilton field goal, they would both have to be touchdowns for the Alouettes with under 3.5 to go.
Domagala 2 for 2 on the day.
From 17 out, Michael Domagala, 3 for 3. And now a 13-point lead, 23-10. Hamilton leading the Montreal Alouettes. And 3:06 on the clock in the 4th quarter.
Hamilton up by 13. struggles of the regular season, particularly the early part of it, are behind them. They're 7 for 10 on field goals. 8 of 10 on extra points.
Harris 0 for 4 in the fourth quarter. There's his first completion of this quarter. Quan Bray has it up across the 40. Under 3 minutes to go, the warning is given. The Ticats are in charge. Can they finish it off and get down to Toronto for the Eastern Final next week?
This is your home.
Semi-final number 2 coming up after the Owls and the Tiger Cats. Cody Fajardo and the Riders hoping a capacity crowd at Mosaic is just what they need to move on to the West Final. Riders Stamps coming up next.
Here at Hamilton, Kate, 2:53 on the clock. A game defined by the Tiger Cats defense looking to put the finishing touches on a victory here. A 13-point lead. Trevor Harris and the Owls offense has a lot of work to do. And the heat is on. Jagarrett Davis. That ball comes loose again. And the Alouettes do have it way back outside their 20, but looked like an incomplete pass by Trevor Harris. But that's one of the big storylines of this game today. The pressure up front by that Ticats defense.
Jagarrett Davis brings a little shake and bake. This time he's working against Landon Rice.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete
All-star tackle, quick spin inside.
Please put 2:42 on the clock. 2:43 on the clock. 2:43. Thank you.
3-down football for this Alouette offense at this stage of the game. Down 2 scores, under 3 minutes, and it's a 3rd and short here up inside the Montreal 50. No question at this point, they gotta go. Stand back in there beside Trevor Harris. Moves out. Harris throws. He completes it to Reggie White. A first down. That's up across the 50 for the Alouettes. Keeping this drive going. 2:37 on the clock.
Harris here able to find Reggie White. Just working across the formation underneath. Be enough for a first down. Get them out near midfield.
Rolling out to his right. Getting it away to Julian Brett inside the Hamilton 50. Clock is stopped at 2:24.
Smart play here, hitting the sideline route. Julian Grant stepping out of bounds to get that clock stopped, but time certainly the enemy of the Montreal Alouettes right now.
Ball spotted just inside the Ticat 50. It's a 2nd and short, less than a yard here. The blitz coming. He dumps it off, and it's a first down and more for Cameron Artis-Payne, who just keeps on chugging and finally gets taken down inside the Ticat 40.
Well, we haven't seen as much of Artis-Payne in this game plan as we thought we might. As kind of a counter to the Tiger Cats' efforts to neutralize William Stanback.
Passing again. And a crowd! It's caught by Lewis. Bobbled a bit, defenders all around him, and Eugene Lewis hauls in another big catch. Just inside the Ticat 10. It'll be 1st and goal for the Alouettes. 2:02 on the clock.
Well, Eugene Lewis, he's a little different than Brian Burnham in terms of the catches, but putting together a pretty good highlight reel of his own.
Talk about catching it in a crowd. Lewis does it there again. 1st and goal. Hamilton 9 into the end zone. Closest is a Hamilton defender, Cariel Brooks. The intended receiver was Reggie White. 2nd down.
Yeah, Brooks getting a hand on that one. Looking like he's trying to lobby maybe for offensive pass interference on that one, but ball was overthrown.
Alouettes need a touchdown. And then some, but they need to find the end zone now. 1:50 on the clock. Second and goal. Hamilton 9. Trevor Harris. Looks in again. And Jake Winicki. The timing perfect by the Ticats. No flag on the field. Katsantonis getting the call at safety. And in the coverage of Winicki, it pushes the Alouettes to a third and goal.
Yeah, you'll see this one coming across the middle. Katsantonis. Once again, if you joined us late, the rookie placed in the starting lineup today with Deontay Evans, the veteran halfback, forced out with a late injury decision.
There we go. End zone or bust for Harris and the Owls. Third down. Into the corner for Bray. Gets the hands up, but no. Tunde Adeleke was on him. It falls incomplete. And the Alouettes, still 13 points down, with 1:38 on the clock, have turned it over on downs.
Here you'll see Winicki, the 3 receiver, Quan Bray. Next to him, the middle. And Adeleke in coverage, as you see a couple of young Canadians in that secondary. Adeleke moving from his regular safety spot over to halfback to replace Evans. Katsantonis comes in at Adeleke's usual safety spot. And back-to-back, they make big plays to shut the door on the Montreal Alouettes.
Mark Washington has had to make some big adjustments because of injuries to that secondary. And you're right, they've been holding up. They've been doing their job. Don Jackson on the carry, 132 now.
Timeout, Montreal.
The Ticats beat Trevor Harris and Edmonton 2 years ago in the Eastern Final to advance to the Grey Cup. The Ticats are trying to get back to that Eastern Final in Toronto, and look again at how close things were. Adeleke.
And I'll tell you, one of the things I love about it, obviously, as a promoter of Canadian talent in this game, and as we're seeing that evolve, is so often you would see the instinct would be to put the Canadians at free safety and at field corner. But I love Mark Washington and Orlando Steinauer putting their faith in Tunde Adeleke to play that halfback spot. And we've seen him make some plays from that position today, demonstrating that he is certainly capable.
Ticats content to keep it on the ground. Not enough for the first down as the punting unit comes out. Orlando Steinauer, coach of the year in the CFL in his rookie season as a head coach in 2019. They were 15-3 that year. They went to the Grey Cup. They were favored against the Bombers. They launched the mission this year to get back, especially with the game here at Tim Hortons Field 2 weeks from today. Still a lot to be decided. This one's not over yet. The Argos await the winner. In the West, that semifinal, the Stamps and the Riders, is coming up after this.
I believe the Toronto Argonauts were gathering down the road at BMO Field today to watch this one as a team.
So 13 points. Tunde Adeleke was back in the punter's position as he gets hauled down. He's trying to take some time off the clock to give up the safety. And the crowd doesn't like it with no flag down. And the Alouettes frustrated as they chased him down as he's killing valuable seconds off the clock.
It looked like Money Hunter grabbed him by the locks. And you can actually make a case for a face mask as the other hand came around.
Well,
that's what Adeleke was signaling for.
We know what the hair pulling, and the Alouettes were involved in that in Montreal. Eugene Lewis on Toronto's Treston Deku on a touchdown, and no penalty. The hair pulling is legal. Product of Carleton University, Tunde Adeleke started his career with the Calgary Stampeders before moving on here to Hamilton and giving up the 2. So 23-12, still 2-score game, and under a minute to go. As the fans, the faithful, Matthew Shinetti talked about it earlier about Simone Lawrence's reaction for all the time he's been around in this city. The passion of the fans even surprised him when, as Matthew was telling us, the fans stopped him on the street, and she wanted to have a picture taken with him, and told him her husband was a huge fan, and he really has embraced the Ticat identity. Now they're leading tackler in the history of the franchise, and wanting badly for this team to win today and to have one more game this season back here on this field. A chance to truly host the Grey Cup. To do that, though, assuming they can hang on here, they have to go to Toronto and beat the Argos in the Eastern Final next week. Pressure on Trevor Harris. He can't find a receiver. He throws it away. And that, more than anything, has defined the kind of day Harris and the Alouettes have had, with the relentless pressure of Jagarrett Davis and that defensive front for the Tiger Cats.
Yeah, I mean, it is said all the time how football games are won and lost at the line of scrimmage, and for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, when their defense has been on the field against Montreal's O, they have certainly made a difference.
Don Jackson stirring up the crowd. We're in the final minute. Oh, it happens again. Dylan Wynn. And the Ticats, Ted Laurent has the ball. Was Harris's arm going forward? Regardless at this point. No, it's Hamilton football. Another Trevor Harris fumble forced by Dylan Wynn in that defensive front of the Ticats. Biggest story of the day. It led to the momentum swing that allowed the Ticats to take the lead back in the first half.
Wynn and Hauser working a twist. Wynn gets bounced like a pinball a couple of times on his way to the quarterback, but eventually finds his way home. Yeah, Dylan, you earned the right to dance.
He took a couple of penalties that allowed the Alouettes to extend a drive, but he's more than made up for that, the way he's played.
I'm on. Hey, Lena, thank you. Kat, love you. Charlie, my baby, I got you. Hey, and dubstep, baby, on the way. Give it less than a month, baby. We go home too.
Winning. Mazzoli taking a knee in victory formation. The Alouettes were able to come back and win here last October, but that was 8 weeks ago, and we got a different story being written today.
Well, there's no place like home for Orlando Steinauer, Jeremiah Mazzoli, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
6 sacks for that defense, forcing 5 turnovers. What a day for the D. What a day for the Tiger Cats. The Ticats are BMO bound. Down the QEW they will go to face their dreaded rivals from Toronto. Argos, Ticats for the right to come back here in 2 weeks and play in Grey Cup 108. Thoroughly dominant, especially with what triggered in the second quarter.
Outstanding performance, and